I've been in business for about 17 years. Construction business, doing roads, bridges, housing for government. Now, unlike when you do a catering business, you know how to plan your business. You know how to achieve what you want to achieve. In my case, I'm just a contractor. If there is an opportunity, I want to make sure that I excel in those opportunities given to me. But in this sector, there's so many unknowns. So my first question is to MPC or to Professor, the panelists, how do we sustain business in the construction industry when you are a contractor, properly registered, able to do this business, yet there's no way you can predict what is going to happen next year or the year after next year, because people said, okay, you can be very good in projecting yourself, making tenders, but at the end of the day, it is not as simple as that. Can somebody tell me a secret of how I can move from where I am? Yes, I'm doing maybe $100 million contract sometimes, but not all the time. How can we, in the construction industry around, how can MPC, how can the panelists advise us, what can we do in order to ensure that the kind of business that we do now can be sustained so that we too can plan how we can build up an organization. Now, one day I can share with you, how can my company wants to build up machineries that cost an investment of maybe 5 to 10 million, if I don't know that next year I may not have a job? How can I start recruiting brains, engineers into my company if I'm not sure that their future in my company is going to be there? Because we do not know, in this our business at least, we just do not know when opportunities are. And on top of that, yes, people think that, oh, you have to be successful, you have to compete. Yes, we can compete. We're not worried about competition. But sometimes competing can be a very difficult business. Because suddenly we see a project, and yes, we're gearing ourselves to that. Suddenly, oh, it has been given to Mr. A or Mr. B without any tender. That's why the first question is, the fundamental question is, in a business that I'm doing, in a construction business, being a contractor, I cannot sustain that business. Not to say how I can assemble a machinery, assemble manpower, in order to be able to be competitive and become productive. So that is the first question for me. I leave it to others, but can somebody answer that, please? This is not a business like what's the name? Not the business that you're doing, but this is a real problem for us in Sarawak. Somebody help. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. One question, but it's a long question. Okay, any takers from the panelists? Prof? Yes. Better want to share something? Yes.
You know that I'm not practitioner, I'm academician. So as academician, we have to read a lot to teach, because we have to teach the students the principles of business. Though academicians are not practitioners, so we don't practice, we also need to conduct research, and for that matter, we have to do the literature review. We have to study a lot about the business models. So from that perspective, I have few few points to address your question. That you need to identify your troubles, your problems. Why are you concerned about sustainability? What prompted you that they are going to be my problems? So you need to identify those problems upfront and then tap the resources of your staff, employees, and sit with them and ask them what can we do, and say that this is going to be our problem, maybe our market share, maybe our competitor, many threats may come. I will say contractor is not just something very special, it is also a company. We have company, we have supplier, that company has supplier, supplier also is a company, that company has also supplier. I was talking to NG Mahan, his company is a supplier to us, and I asked, do you have supplier? Yes, more than 100. So the Brahim has got more than 100 suppliers. So as a supplier, suppose I am a company and I have my supplier, 3 fundamental things I will be looking for, and if you can ensure those 3 things, then your business is ensured. Provided it is not a sunset business. I repeat, provided it is not a sunset business. If sunset business, then you must think where to expand, because your business is going to be set. So there are many sunset business around, you know that. So if it is not sunset business, then the fundamental 3 characteristics for a supplier or contractor is the quality. If you can ensure quality in your building, in your whatever you are building, then that's it. Then cost, then delivery. You cannot compromise anything with cost, quality, and delivery time. These are the 3 most fundamental factors for any suppliers. So if you can ensure, if you can champion in quality, if you can champion in the cost, though it's easier said than done, and if you can ensure your delivery time, then people will be happy to collaborate you, to continue. People will be looking for to have long-term collaboration with your company. So I believe that you will succeed.
Okay, thank you for your response, Prof. Any more suggestion from the panelists?
Thank you, Mr. Mati, for the questions. I guess I just give a quick view on the opinion that I have. Sorry if this view will not match what your current business. I guess in any business we have a similar challenges. Okay, customer is always a challenge for us. I just give you some thoughts of mine. In our situations, Brahim Sets Food Services, customers always give a challenge. Maybe your challenge would be no contract. For us, we have customers. We have 36 customers. They might go at any time because of they have another food supplier, food services. So upon we have a contract negotiations, normally what customer did, they will ask for a discount. So that's the challenges. So challenges is always there, everywhere. Any business, I guess that is the challenges that we have to, adapt. How we do, if you look into the situations or the framework of business excellence, you will see first line is the leaderships. What is our visions for the organizations? So I guess for Mr. Martin, you might have your visions. Another 5 years, I want my contract to be in whatever. I think that's you always have a vision. Similar like us, we put a vision first, what we want to aim at. Secondly, if you look into what I explained just now, we are talking about the customers. That always a challenge, whereby if you are saying that how that we're going to reduce our operating costs. As I mentioned, the chef is not cheap. Same like you, I think your engineers is not cheap because they are skillful people. So how that we're going to leverage, how that we're going to engage with them to ensure that we can optimize their skills, because we need to segregate. Either this one should be the people's skill, or another part would be the automations. So that's about how we say on the collaborations between people and also automations. When we have these situations, when our customer looking for discounts, we always look into two factors. I actually have presented this in my previous talk with MPC, but it is all confidential numbers. That's the reason why I didn't share in this forum. Basically, when we talk about the survival of any organizations, we need to decide either we are in blue oceans or red oceans. For us, we choose to be in the blue oceans. The reason why? Because there is a lot of opportunity to increase our revenue by looking into the processes. So let's say in our environment, we are looking into payroll costs, utilities, we are looking into the raw materials, how that we ensure that the quality is always the same, but at the same time, we are able to manage those we are considered lacking or leaking in terms of the operational. So we always go through the process improvement, looking at where that we can improve more. In that situations, I guess, for me, Mr. Martin, I sharing with you, I agree with you, our business is not similar. The challenges that you have and the challenges that we have, actually the same thing. Or even myself, I'm saying, in 2012, our company, zero debt company. Tell you, zero debt company. We are enjoying life like nobody business, right? What happened when it started for the new catering agreement? When the customer say no more 25 years of contract, I'm going to reduce your meal price for certain numbers. So that's something which is, I guess, the situations that we need to survive. We need to find ways of how to make sure we are still survive in the organizations. So I guess hope some clue that I can give to you, although it is not similar, but this is based on our experience in Brahim Sets to manage those critical situations. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your sharing of your experience. I guess when it's come to the changes or challenges in the macro environment, economics, political, it will affect all business, yeah, in terms of exchange rate and everything. So the challenge is not only for the construction, but it cut across all the sector.
Can I have a supplementary question?
Sorry?
Can I have a supplementary question?
Oh, some supplementary question.
Yeah.
Yes, you can ask question. Yeah.
Thank you. Really, what I'm trying to get is the MPC role for companies like us. Yeah, I can have excellent certificate from you. I can have ISOs here. And you will have no problem that I don't do the job if I have the opportunity. The question is, the opportunity is different, is not there. So, can I have MPC people around, if they can, or maybe to suggest that one day, if I were to approach the office, can I have a commitment to say that, yes, we would like to talk to you, we would like to visit you, because this is a real problem. Yeah, I'm not sure how many people here that belongs to construction company, but this is a very fundamental issue. I can have your certificate, I have got excellence award, but that in the present context doesn't count that much.
I guess MPC will be ever ready to have that special sessions for you as well as for all the construction industry players.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're around. They heard you, so I think they will do that for you. MPC will handhelp all the company that needs help from.
Okay. As I said, I have a website there, but it's not fully utilized yet because it's just a trial. You can find where I am, or you can ring us. Okay. And then I'll be too glad to speak to MPC in Sarawak.
Okay, Mr. Martin.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so can we have another question? One more question for this round.
Okay, excuse me, moderator. Okay, sir, you can give us the information about your company to us, alright? Okay, we can talk later. Thank you. That's it.
Okay, so we have a question through the WhatsApp. The question is, in Malaysia, reported more than 5,000 MNCs companies had been adopted business industry 4.0.